House is one of the finest, oldest wooden houses in the United States. Built in the 1600s and constructed with no nails, it is very unique for its time. The house followed the typical East Anglican house plan, consisting of timber frames typically built in England. Men that came from England to the United States were considered craftsmen by their talents with wood carving. The design of this house reflects the time period perfectly, as shown in the chimney, windows, and framework. The house is all handmade and the wood is carved perfectly for design purposes. The house was built in 3 stages between the 1600s and 1700s through 6 generations of the Whipple family. The Whipple family came from England in the 1600s for religious and political reasons. The family was considered middle class and was involved in the business of trading wool. John Fawn built the first section in 1638 and soon sold it to Captain John Whipple. John Whipple was a military officer and successful entrepreneur. As time progressed, the house was passed down to John Whipple II. While he owned the house, he doubled the size in 1670. Next in the Whipple family was Mayor John Whipple III. He built onto the back of the house for more space. This completed the house to the present size it is today. The house that was built was known as the Mansion in Ipswich due to its large size. The Whipple House is constructed in half houses or single-cell houses. It is separated into the first house and the second house. The first house includes the hall, chamber, and attic. The chamber was designed for entertainment purposes, and the attic was designed for storage and sleeping. The second house includes a bedroom, another chamber, and upstairs storage rooms. The house is currently 2.5 stories high and includes multiple rooms. This house was built to be a townhouse located near the center of Ipswich at the corner of today's Staltonsdale and Market Street. During the early 17th through 18th centuries, the kitchen was known as the main room in the house. This was where food was prepared and conversations held. The room held the biggest fireplace in the house, which was constantly burning. Even though space was always an issue with the family, this room was the most crowded. Women were always less important and always cooking. At dinner, they would have to stand as the men took all the chairs. The oldest man would be seated at the head of the table and would be served first. The women did not wear shoes because their dresses fell to the ground, usually covering their feet. Since there was a lack of space in the house, fireplaces on the first floor were all used for food preparation. Fire was a constant during the long Ipswich winters. There were always oil lamps hung, filled with fish, whale, coal, and petroleum oils. Whale oil was preferred due to its long burning period and also because it lacked the smell of fish oil. Along with oil lamps, the Whipple family had many candles placed in the house, and they were all handmade. As every room had a fireplace for heat, their walls were also covered with thick paint, which had horsehair in it to work as an insulator. The pane glass windows in the Whipple house were designed to keep heat in the room as well. Unfortunately, during the hot summers, as glass is a liquid, it began to melt. Interestingly, today you can see how the window panes at the Whipple House are thicker at the bottom than at the top. As for furniture, all bedrooms included a bed, dresser, fireplace, and a few chairs. The bed itself was decorated with lace. Lace was very popular in Ipswich, and there are many stores that made it. The Whipples did make some lace, but never sold it. Beds were not only located in the bedroom, but also in other rooms as well. When beds were located in other rooms, they were most likely able to fold up against the wall to create more space during the day. The Whipple family and others of this generation never slept on the floor. It was considered disrespectful and unhealthy. The garden outside the Whipple House is almost as famous as the house itself. The housewives' garden is in front of the house and greets visitors even today. The garden was planted by the many women who lived in the house. The garden always included herbs and plants used for food and for making primitive medicines. Since the family was from England, they brought many foreign plants to this garden and began growing them here. Some items that were grown in this garden were thyme, sunflower, strawberries, sage, rosemary, clover, mint, and many more. As the family got sick, it was helpful to have these plants growing right outside their home. The Whipple House has been passed down through the many generations of Whipples. Many wanted the house to be moved to a better location. This was accomplished in 1927, removing the Whipple House from its original location near the town center. They moved it using oxen and huge logs, moving it slowly through the town and across the Choate Bridge, placing it to the original location today. During 1953 to 1954, the Ipswich Historical Society renovated the house, fixing the windows and supporting the house with more beams of wood. Today, the Whipple House is located on 1 South Village Green, just on the outskirts of downtown Ipswich. The house currently is under care by the Ipswich Historical Society and Museums, and 600 to 1,000 visitors come each year. Without the help of this society, the Whipple House would not be standing as it is today.